Look, window down with that AC on. Fitted cap with that AZ on. Do my best to put AZ on. Sounding right, so I can't be wrong. In the hood, chilling with my folks. Do the good, some dogs, some lows. Ain't no hate, cause we all the same. Dream of ballin' cause we came up broke. Velvet bag with that XR. Outer space, I'm the next star. In the booth, man, it does my thing. Spitting dope, the Xanax bars. Test the brand, I'm tried and true.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Venezi.
Hey, yo, what up? This is Johnny.
Yo, what's good? It's Phil.
What's up? It's Big Mike.
And we are R.I.C.H Radio.
And you know what it is? It stands for respect, integrity, confidence, and honesty. It's what we're about. It's what it is.
You already know.
Yeah.
So let's get it. So first off, we did a little recording last week. You know, it was our first sort of trial run. But, you know, we worked out some kinks. We're still going to use some of that footage. But on this show, we're going to go a little bit more in depth into some more topics rather than ourselves.
But first, we got our other member here, Mike. And I know we learned about all of us last time. So, Mike, just give us a little feedback. Where you're from.
What you're about. What are you about, bro?
I'm about. All right, so.
About them bangers?
Yeah. All right, guys. My name's Mike. I'm from Tucson. Really, this is something that, you know, with Phil and John, we talked about this about 2 years ago. Simply just, you know, talking and about sports, you know, relationships, music. Of course, you know, music is definitely one of my biggest passions. I remember growing up, my neighbor was like huge into NWA, right? But the thing is, I couldn't really relate to NWA because I wasn't into gangbanging. And at that time in the early 90s, gangbanging was really big. So I couldn't really relate to that. And then I remember when I was young, my cousin picked me up. And when he picked me up, he pulled up in his car, right? And he was bumping Biggie. And he had a sack of crack on him, and he had money, right? And like when I jumped in, I'm not gonna say any names, right? You know what I mean? Because you know he definitely put his work in the streets. But I remember jumping in his car, and he had crack, he had money, right? And I remember I seen my friends, and with their older brothers, I seen them walking, right? I seen them wearing Dickies and Cortez, and I seen my cousin wearing Jordans and Polo. And bumping Biggie and Nas, and that's when I just fell in love with Biggie and Nas and Wu-Tang. So it's not until I got a little bit older I started appreciating, you know, West Coast hip hop, of course, you know, Tupac. But you know, it's really when it comes down to music, you shouldn't just follow what everybody else is following. You know, it's you have to relate to that music. You know, it has to it needs to speak to you, and you know, simply with that, like I never went to New York. I never been to those places, but just simply the things, their style, what they would say, and, you know, listening to Raekwon. I honestly think Raekwon was kind of like Rick Ross back in the day, you know? He was talking about Cuban links. He was talking about Jesus Pieces. He was talking about, you know, pushing keys and driving Lexuses and Mercedes, you know? So.
But he was no corrections officer.
He wasn't. He definitely wasn't. So,
it is what it
and you know what was crazy is I'm not going to say the name of the crew, right? You know, God bless all of them. I know a lot of them got shot, got killed, went to jail, whatnot. But I remember back in the day, there used to be a barbershop on 12th Avenue. It's called Your Next Barbershop, right? And a lot of people know about this barbershop because it's legendary. And this crew back in the 90s was making a lot of money. They were pushing a lot of dope. And I was a little kid, right? And when I went to the barbershop, I remember I had it was Ren album of Nas where he had the fade, right? And I went to the barber and I said, yo, I need a fade like Nas. I remember these dudes, they would come in, man. They would be, you know, driving Mercedes and Lexus, and they look like, you know, how you saw the people, you know, as the rappers and stuff. So that stuff really influenced me, and that's really what I like. And then growing up, you know, started, you know, venturing out to different type of music. You know, I like rock and roll. The Eagles, I'm big into the Eagles. Nice. My mother gave me a really good musical background. I remember listening to the Jackson 5 when I was little, you know, so when it came down to it, my mother put me onto some good music, and I mean, that's me, and you know, in the span of 5 minutes. So, I'm excited to be here. You know, shout out to my cousin Goonie. It's his birthday. You know, we're gonna go pop bottles downtown, you know, and do it big,
yes, sir.
And have a good time. But you know, I'm just here to, you know, good vibes, good spirit, and I'm just excited, man.
You know what? It's funny you say when it comes down to the influence of hip hop, and when it comes down to what makes you feel right. You know, it doesn't really mean that you're living in that environment, but it's something that you literally, you know, it speaks to you internally. And it's funny because me growing up, you know, I grew up in the gangbang realm, and one of the music that spoke to me that I felt deep down was like Brother Lynch Hung. You know what I'm saying? Looney Coleon, you know.
I got that Black Market CD right now in my car.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and it's crazy because that influenced me to start rapping. Like the whole reason why I started doing music, the reason why I'm here today, where I'm at with music, is because honestly, Brother Lynch Hung was like my motivation to start doing music. I don't know. He just it made me feel a certain way. It made me feel powerful. You know, that's when I wanted to stick out my chest and act like I'm Mr. Tough Guy, which, you know, I'm not like that no more. But you know what I mean? Back then, it was just it was a sense of pride, you know, listening to that kind of music. So you saying that. And also, you know, my dad, I'm Sicilian. Yeah. So my pops, you know what I mean? He bumped Frank Sinatra, Jimi Hendrix, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, the classic, the Beatles, you know what I mean? So I grew up listening to that too and appreciating that kind of music as well, which really influenced me to be who I am today. You feel me?
Yeah. Yep. It's very important to not limit yourself when it comes to music, because when you say I only listen to hip hop, I only listen to rock, we're really not going to conversate about music at that point. Because, you know, I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm not going to talk to you ever again, but it's so single-minded, you know what I mean? Because I grew up exactly like Mike said, Michael Jackson. I have the greatest memories of my mother, rest in peace, just jamming to Michael Jackson in the house, you know what I mean?
I'm the younger one out of all you guys. So to me, my era was the 50 Cent. Like, you know, Get Rich or Die Trying. When I was in fifth grade.
Super dope, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was a good time in music, too.
It really was. I was in fifth grade bumping that. I don't know what my mom was doing, thinking, buying me that. I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't know. God bless
my mom bought me Tupac. She didn't know.
That's true. Doggy Style when it came out.
But what's crazy, though, what's crazy, though, is that I was a huge Tupac fan. And I had All Eyes on Me. I had Me Against the World, strictly for my, you know what I mean? So... I know Tupac really spoke to me. He was one of my favorite artists, even though he had already passed. You know what I mean? I honestly had dreams and visions of me like on stage rocking with Tupac. It was crazy.
That's dope.
But, dope. And you know, he that definitely spoke to me. And you know, it's funny that you say, both of y'all or all of us. I know we've talked about this before, but that it makes you feel some type of way. You know what I mean? Whether it's positive or negative. I know when I was listening to 50 Cent, I felt like I was only in fifth grade, but I felt like going out capping some fools.
Hey, that's for real.
When that Heat came out, man. I was an angry little fifth grader. You know what I mean?
When he was out, I was delivering pizzas, bumping Heat on repeat. Coming to people's house like boom, boom, boom. You know, what's up with the tip, yo? You know, man. And I kept an extra grimy. It was a burned copy of 50 Cent Getting Rich or Die Trying. I wasn't gonna pay retail.
Hey, that was back in the day, like with Napster and shit.
Hell yeah, dude. We're taking like, you know, a whole day to get an album. You know?
Yeah. To download each song. No, that's crazy, man. It's funny because I remember burning a CD and waiting all night for it to burn. And you just go on the computer and checking it like, okay. You know, but honestly, that was the turning point in music, if you think about it, because that was the dawn of the age of the internet and of actually downloading music and not buying CDs. Because when I was 17, I was a manager at Sam Goody. I worked at the one at L.L.C. Mall here in Tucson, as well as Park Mall.
Back, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm you know, I'm getting close to the OG status. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting up there. You know, I'll be 32 this year.
Right there.
Yeah. But you know, but honestly, it's crazy because I remember people would come in and buy singles. You know, it just had 2 or 3 tracks on there. The kids nowadays have no idea. Like, oh, you would buy a single with like a beat and a cappella and then the full song on it.
Oh, man.
Like, I used to buy the shit out of those.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. And I remember when Get Rich or Die Trying came out. Bro, we had so many stacks of that CD that just flew off the shelves. Like that, when I was working at Sample Goody, that was the top selling record ever. Like, it was crazy, bro. We would sell out in a day like hundreds of copies.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It was
so
insane.
Gutter too. That's the thing. It was so gutter.
Yeah, it was.
That was so gutter.
What I really like about the rap game now, and like some of the new artists is right. I think what's really good is what the new artists have done now, from what I've seen, is that they taken that independent route. You know, so it's more ownership of their music, to where you don't have to have these people in corporate trying to dictate what hip hop is really all about, or what good music is, right? So, you know, you have the voice of the people that have that ownership, because if you don't own something, right, you know, you can be told what to do. So at the end of the day, I really appreciate these new upcoming artists like Troy Ave, you know, that just simply have that independency where they make their money. They might not be selling millions of records, but at the end of the day, they're making a lot more money than some of these artists, you know, with major deals.
What it do? All right, so you know, we have a special guest just stepped into the building, Mr. Sho Nuff himself.
Oh, no, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? What's good, bro? Good, bro. How you doing, man?
Man, good to meet you,
Mike,
man.
nice to meet you. What's up, Pip?
What up, fam?
Man, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. This is my boy Platinum G. He gonna be running the sound for us.
How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up, bro?
John.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you too. This will be your show right in the
Sorry I'm late, y'all. Sorry I'm late.
How you good, man?
What's up, my man?
We got down here. We're staying with my folks, you know what I mean? And my son has like skin issues, so we buy him this expensive soap.
Yeah.
Somebody came and used all of this shit up. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like,
Some good ass soap.
It's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. And, you know, we're like, man, if you want to use the good stuff, at least replace it. Don't use the shit and then just leave the stuff you got, like, at the swab, you know? Like, come on, man.
It's funny, we were talking about Suave the other day.
I use it, but I can't use it for my little man.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, so we jumping back into it. Sho Nuff in the studio.
Sho Nuff.
You know,
What's up, Sho Nuff?
actually-
What's good?
Man,
Yeah,
chilling.
I've heard some of your
Blessed to
tracks,
be here.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've heard some of your tracks. I think they're really dope. You know
Thank
what I
you,
mean?
bro.
We were just vibing to it actually before you came.
dude.
Thank you.
There's one track, man, where you talk about as you're a child and what you're seeing as a little kid.
Yeah.
Dude, you're speaking
Dana Danes.
Dana Danes,
Yeah.
man. That speaks to, I believe, all of us. Because right when I first heard that, I was like, dude, that you're telling my story right now. You know what I mean? At a certain point, it starts getting different. But I remember being a young child in the neighborhood where I was at, and you see the ballers, you see the people doing all the things they're doing, and you know, you got your parents over there, kind of like, what are you looking at? You know, that's not how to live.
Right.
You know, but they don't want to say it like that, because once you push your child away from something, that just makes them want to run.
That's exactly where they go.
Yep,
Hey,
exactly.
Hey, shit, man. My homie who's in there working the sound right now, like, he used to come over to the crib and he'd have the do-rag on and everything with my other homie, Jay, rest in peace. And my grandma would be right in front of him, like, why you want to hang out with them thugs? Like, look. She'd be like, why you want to hang out with them thugs? And I'm like, we live in the hood, grandma. Like, this is who we are. This is where we're at. You know what I'm saying? But, like, man, that song right there, when I first heard that beat, man, that was the first thing, like, I just thought about was when I was sitting out on my stoop and you would watch the, you know, there was a big brick house across the street and, like, it just looked like a castle. You know what I'm saying? And you would watch the big trucks rolling by. You know what I mean? And that's where they would pull into. And I'm like, dang, man, I wish I had me a big truck like that. Like, you know, or they would always have on, like, the dope shoes and the gold jewelry. And I'm like, dang, man, like, I want that. Like, you know, my grandmama, she'd be like, man, you know what they're doing? You know what they're doing? They ain't doing nothing good. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey, shout out to your grandma, though. She's a real
straight
woman.
up, man.
So David was telling me that you're actually from Pueblo Gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, you know, playing ball there at the Boys and Girls Club, you know, and what's funny is that in that neighborhood, you had to watch out because at that time in the early 90s, it's just all black neighborhood, you know? So you really had to be careful when you went there. I remember seeing dudes in the front yard with pit bulls. Mm-hmm. Right, and they're doing their thing, man. And I know Pueblo Gardens back in the day, it was really live. It was really wild out there.
I mean, like for where we were at, I think it was predominantly Hispanic where I was at. Like, so the black folks, it's crazy, like, because in the 90s, you know, the segregation is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, people will talk about, oh, that was way back when. I don't know what the problem is. No, that's a real deal. Like, so where we were at, it was actually predominantly Hispanic, right? Like, on the hillside, on the other side of 36 is where you would see like most of the black folks, like when you want to talk about like a group of the same type of people, you know what I mean? So it was crazy, like growing up in my neighborhood, because though we were all in the same place and from the same place, I still had to fight these battles. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, like the racism that existed. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy, like having to deal, like, you know, get into fist fights as a young child because, you know, somebody with different colored skin decided to call me the N-word. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many times I got sent to the principal's office or what for you know, fighting or pushing somebody or throwing a rock at somebody because they caught, you know.
It's crazy. It's like history crazy. Repeats itself too, man.
Yeah,
that's right. Nowadays, it's like really more prominent than it's been in years. Yeah. You know, just because of how everything's been happening. And it's funny you mentioned that too, because I think a lot of people in these schools are actually witnessing this type of racism that you went through as a youngster. And one thing I want to mention as well is that I go way back with Sho Nuff. This is my family. Same with Platinum G in the booth. This is my family. And I didn't bring him on this show as our first guest because he's somebody that I cherish.
Shout out. That's a good look. You first guest on the show.
Yeah. No, you are the first guest, and the reason why is because not only are you a respectable human being, you're a respected artist here in Arizona. Not just in Tucson, but in Arizona. So when I talk to them and they heard your music and they know basically what your movement is, that's why everyone agreed. It wasn't just me, you know what I mean? Because this is all of us. This isn't just one decision. Everybody makes a collective decision. So I want to make sure everyone knows that just because he's my fam isn't the reason why he's our first guest on the show. I just wanted to throw that out.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, just to add on to that, because when we were just jamming to your tracks, you know, just about a week ago, we were just like, yo, we need to have him on the show because your lyrical what you're talking about is so relevant to today, and it's honest, but it's good music. You're not just hyping stuff up and like yada yada yada. You got content that as a grown man, as a 34-year-old man with children and a wife who's lived his life wants to hear. Because you know what I mean? You keep it. It's Captain Morgan.
Man. Captain. It's that Captain Morgan.
But you know what I mean? We all appreciated what you had to say in those songs, man, and they were dope.
I appreciate that.
So it was consensual.
Man, me and this man right here, we worked real hard on that record. You know what I'm saying? Did. Like we spent a lot of hours in this very place, you know, just crafting music, and like it was some of the best music that I think I've ever made. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. Like we would get done with some of the songs, and I would be so excited about how dope it was that I was like on some emotional type shit. Like, damn, I can't believe I just made this.
Even though I was the engineer, me too. I'm tearing up at how great some of the music we're making. Because y'all ain't even heard the whole Soul Servant album. Did you bring some of the copies with you?
I think I have one in the car. So
okay, yeah, we need to get that too.
That shit is sure.
Yeah, but it's such a classic record, and it's such an honor to be able to work with such a talented artist that's also my friend. But the thing is when it comes down to business, we get down to business. Right. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. It's not like when we get in here, it's just all about, I'm gassing him up because he's the homie. Nah, like I'll tell him, nah, bro, you need to redo that.
Yeah. He be making me mad sometimes. I'll be like, man.
Yeah, but hey. But it comes out good. That's what we do.
It's all for that product, you know? Right? Yeah.
So, Sho, like right now, who you listening to currently right now? What artists have you been listening
what's
to?
in your radio?
You know, we could talk about your influences when you were young.
Your iPod.
Well, all right. What you playing right now?
What's on your Google Play?
I'm gonna go through my most recent albums. All right, look I think I can do it off of memory. So we got Anderson .Paak, right?
Okay.
I've been messing with that. The Malibu album, he's real dope. He did a lot of music on the Compton album, right?
Okay.
So a lot of the vocals.
Oh yeah, he's dope. He's dope.
He was on the XXL Freshman cover, but he's not really a rapper, so it tripped me out that he was on the XXL Freshman cover, but still dope. So Anderson .Paak. I've been listening to that Royce the 5'9", Trust the Shooter.
Yeah, Royce the 5'9".
Royce, hey man, people be sleeping on Royce.
I don't know how, man. I don't know
how do you sleep on Royce?
He's so ill. So I've been bumping that. I've been bumping that new Schoolboy Q, that Blank Face.
Yeah.
I've been on that.
Yeah, me too. LP. That's dope.
So fire.
Super dope. Schoolboy Q's dope.
Okay, so don't judge me, but man, fuck it if you do. I've been so Nick Jonas. I got the Nick Jonas album, and I've been bumping that. Okay, Nick Jonas got soul, bro. He got soul, bro.
No, he is. He really is. I heard some songs recently. I was like, who is that?
Nick Jonas.
You know what I mean?
I mean, when it comes down to talent, it's under either you got talent or you don't, right?
So like, I had never listened to a Jonas Brothers song. I couldn't tell you one Jonas Brothers song, right? But
that's real though. That's real though.
I heard that song.
Jonas Brothers.
Okay, it's all right, man. See, music is one of those things that's universal and it speaks to people.
Right.
I think when people are trying to judge you because of the music you listen to, they're trying too hard. You know what I mean? Come on, like let me enjoy what I enjoy.
There you go.
That's like telling somebody what to eat. Like, get out of my face with that shit. Like, you know, if I want to eat this big ass pork chop with bacon wrapped around it, let's eat that. You know? Hey, you know, like
where can we get that?
Bacon.
That's what I'm saying. That's super pork.
Hey.
But like, okay,
Super pork. Ain't gonna live very long, but
hey, it'll taste good while you eating that.
Sho Nuff. You know?
Yes, sir. So, Nick Jonas, damn, what else? Problem? It's kind of old, but that Mollywood 3, I'm back on that. I was listening to that for a while. I'm back on that. And then, so we went to a concert. We went to see YG, G-Eazy, Yo Gotti, and Logic.
Oh, and shout out to Big Quizzo, the homie Big Quizzo. You know what I mean? That's the family right there.
With us. Yeah, that was dope. Fucking So after going to that concert, I got a little bit more appreciation for G-Eazy, so I went and got his record. Okay. And then I
like his music, man. I do. He's dope.
He's dope, man. And then I put Logic back on my phone. I had him on the phone, and you know, I listened to it until I was kind of like done with it, but then got it rekindled after seeing the concert. And lastly, the last record that I think I bought. Man, it was probably something old, man. We were just listening to Doggy Style in the car on the way over here. You know what I'm saying?
Can't go wrong with that. Ever.
I just found my Doggy Style cassette tape just 2 days ago in my garage. Yes. Merry Christmas to Little Johnny in 93, 94, whenever that was. My pops hooked it up. I was jamming to that.
Man.
Love Doggy Style.
Dog. My pops used to take away all my stuff, man. Like, I don't know how many times he took away Doggy Style. I probably had that Too Short Cocktails album about 6-7 times. He used to just snatch my shit, and I would just find a way to get it again. You know what I mean? Hey, if it's dope, you know, you gotta have it.
Hey, the story for me with the Too Short Cocktails album is that BMG sent me that album for free. You know, back in the day, they would send you CDs.
Right.
And I was like, yo, Dad, can I keep the CD? And he was just like, well, you're not 18, so technically they shouldn't have sent it to you. So he didn't know what it was. He had no idea who Too Short was either at the time. You know what I mean? So I'm over there at, like, you know, 13 years old, bumping cocktails like it's the thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, and
in your room?
In my room.
Exactly, dude. Mom's all cleaning, dad's all like chilling.
Yeah, dude, just cocktails. 13-year-old getting influenced by Too Short, man, thinking the world is something that it's really not. For me, anyways.
And it was like that for him.
Yeah, it was like that for him, though.
Every day, yeah.
So this is what I got to do with ladies, huh? Like, nah, dog, you kick back.
Hey, so I got a question. When it comes down to hip-hop in Tucson, right? Why do you feel like, one, it's kind of like two questions in one, right? Why do you feel like Tucson doesn't really support local artists, and why anybody from Tucson really hasn't, you know, made any big impact?
Good question.
Okay, well, I don't feel like Tucson doesn't support artists, right? I don't feel like they support every artist that should have support, but I don't feel like they don't support artists, right? So you got like the Cash Lanskys and the Marley B's. Those are our two biggest artists here, right? Okay. You know, and I feel like they have good support. They have great support, but they work for that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They work for that.
They sell out shows.
Any artist, myself included,
I think you hit the nail right on the head.
Any artist, myself included, that doesn't have the kind of recognition that they want is because the work, the foundation wasn't laid for that. And myself included. Like, I feel like, you know, to a point, I'm starting at ground zero again. But because people know what my name is, I have a little bit of an edge to where when I put that next record out, it'll be, you know, more accepted. But I took some time back to, like, you know, he's a talented, very talented producer out of Chicago. And he saw something in me, you know, similar to how Platinum saw something in me. You know what I mean? And so now we're working on something. And it's going to be crazy. So, like, I'm putting out this From Me to You to feed the people real quick. And then we're just really going to be grinding it out, me and Rich. And that is gonna be magic. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be magic. So that's what I got coming. Sho Nuff 520 on Twitter, IG. ShoNuff520.com is the website. It's down for maintenance right now. I want to have big bright lights and shit. You know what I'm saying? When it's done, it'll be great. But Sho Nuff 520 is the domain. So Sho Nuff 520 everything. That's where you can find me. That's how
can they
find
find you on Facebook?
Facebook. So my personal page. If you don't know me, and then you probably won't get that right. You might be able to find me.
What's
but
your
I'm not
fan
going to give that
page?
out. But my fan page. Facebook.com/ShoNuffAZ. Yep. /ShoNuffAZ.
And I just want to say something, just in this short period, because I just met you when you walked through. I just want to say that Sho Nuff is definitely one very humble. I appreciate his presence and his knowledge and everything else. I've definitely talked to some other artists that are also known as well, and I'll tell you this much: sitting with you here is something that's truly I'm grateful for.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you.
That.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming through, spitting your knowledge and everything like that. So thank you,
man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Come get a shot of that right here. Sho Nuff AZ. That's how you find it right there. Sho Nuff AZ. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Thank
lastly,
you, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Sure.
Of course, everybody you already know, this is Rich Radio. Respect, integrity, confidence, honesty. You know what I mean? And we're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now do we stand by the